only a draw will be okay for them, especially you look at Ahoy United languishing in a very, very precarious, position now. It doesn't look good for them. They really need to turn things around. It begins with games like this, derby games. You need to win it. You need to give it, everything. I've just not been impressed with their attitude so far. Yeah, you're playing at home. You have the fans behind you. You need to push a little bit more. You need to try and create something.
In inside Usman. It's a handball against Osafo. Claims it was his chest, but it was obvious he handled the ball.
No grip, no traction at all. Both teams struggling, especially in the middle of the pitch, and that you could see coming off.
News public statements violate the in-camera nature of Article 146 proceedings. And Ghana Health Service confirms made COVID-19 outbreak on the University of Ghana campus as it urges public vigilance. We've got details of these and many more coming up shortly. Stay with us. Thanks for your time. My name is George Quinn. It's always a pleasure coming your way with news updates. And now, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, GRNMA, has once again issued a firm ultimatum to government to implement their conditions of service by the end of July or face possible industrial action. The renewed notice follows what the association describes as a unilateral suspension of a scheduled meeting today involving government representatives, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, and the association itself. President of the association, Perpetual Oforiampofo, addressed the media at a press conference in Accra. The GRNMA maintains that failure to honor its long-standing demands could lead to further action in the coming weeks. The latest ultimatum comes barely 2 weeks after the association called off an earlier strike over similar demands.
Due to this development, the National Council of the association at its meeting held on 25th June 2025 deliberated extensively on the content of the letter and wishes to state as follows. 1. The strike was suspended in good faith, and we expect nothing less than a reciprocity of same. The rescheduling of the meeting, in our view, is in bad faith, since it may further delay the implementation of the agreed items. We have, however, decided to give the committee the benefit of hindsight and still trust that their engagement with the Ministries of Health and Finance will be productive. Number 2, we demand the implementation of the 4 agreed items not later than July 2025. This is non-negotiable.
And he heard from the president of the association, Perpetual Oforiampofo, addressing the media in Accra. And in an emotional address to the nation yesterday, suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu raised serious concerns about alleged irregularities in the ongoing Article 146 impeachment proceedings against her. She detailed what she believes to be significant procedural violations, prompting her to instruct her lawyers to seek judicial review at the High Court. Listen to the excerpts of that conference that was held yesterday.
The clear danger is that through this flagrant violation of CI 47 and the darkness of the current proceedings being held in camera behind the walls of a Edu Lodge, my lawyers and I can come to the end of the proceedings. The evidence will show that every one of those allegations in the petitions that were given to me on 27th March is unfounded and untrue. And yet, the committee can dig up some allegation from whatever documents they claim to be having from the president, which they have not shown to me, and purport to enter a recommendation for my removal on that basis. Allow me to say that this is totally unknown in the rule of law in this country. If it was lawful, I would have no reason to alert the nation of the dangers they represent. It is the violations of law that have forced me to bring these matters out in the light of day. The final and fourth reason for this statement is that I have heard on several occasions from loved ones, persons who care, persons who may not know me beyond my public duties, and many who think that since these proceedings seem to be carefully staged to result in my removal as Chief Justice, it would be best if I just retired or resigned rather than subject myself to an ill-motivated process. I have also received threats and veiled threats to the effect that if I fail to resign or retire voluntarily, I will be made to suffer some harm or the other.
So just run by you some excerpts of the press briefing that was held by the suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Tekonu yesterday. But let's just also run you through the violations that have been cited by the CJ by the committee. And so one, committee's refusal in breach of the rules of natural justice to recognize her counsel on first day of proceedings, and also the committee's failure to indicate the specific allegations in respect of which a prima facie case has been established, as well as the reasons for same, and also the committee's decision to permit two of the petitioners, as Mr. Daniel Ofori and Shining Stars, not to testify, and a denial of opportunity to be in the hearing room with my husband or a close family member, and also a thorough search of my body and handbags in violation of protocols and courtesies extended to the Chief Justice, and also the conduct of the hearing in a condoned high security zone on Castle Drive, that Osu, and other concerns the CJ raised border on breach of rules of disclosure, where she alleged the committee's refusal to provide copies of the petitions and the President's prima facie determination hindering her ability to respond effectively. The Chief Justice's legal team is seeking a judicial review, arguing that these procedural flaws undermine the fairness and legitimacy of the process. And now let's go into the telephone lines and engage a private legal practitioner in that regard, and that's Christian Mom Hesse. Good afternoon, counsel, and thanks for joining us on Midday Live. Lawyer, do you believe the Chief Justice's public comments amounted to a breach of her oath of office under the Constitution? It seems we find it difficult to connect to the legal practitioner, but we'll surely come back and have his take on the press briefing that was held by the suspended Chief Justice yesterday. And away from that, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has filed an appeal challenging the decision of the High Court in Kumasi, which acquitted and discharged Alexander Kwabena Safo-Kantaka, President Akufo-Addo's nominee for Municipal Chief Executive of Drammen in the Ashanti region. And Mr. Safo-Kantaka was seen in a widely circulated video demanding refunds from assembly members following the rejection of his nomination. He was subsequently charged with 26 counts of corruption